Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and I'm starting this off with Splash Hill, which is actually, of course, the modern version. And the best part about it is actually its music, because it has a modern remix of Splash Hill Zone's theme, like with a pretty cool electric guitar theme, so I like it. At this point, I've gotten to the point where the only skills I want to use are the boost gauge 3-timer skill, and the skill that makes you start out with boost when you die, because there's no bigger demotivation. There's no bigger motivator to me. There's no bigger demotivator to me than dying in a boost level, and then I restart without rings, and it's so hard to get the boost back. And it just completely destroys my motivation sometimes, especially in this level. Because one of the problems with this level is that it's too narrow, so it can be easy to boost off the edge because you can't actually, because the path ahead of you curves, and you did not expect to have to curve. Like, it's fine when the dash pads It's fine when you run into dash pads, although that dash pad sends you directly into spikes. Like, I like this, the whole rail switching thing. I talked to a lot of Knuckles Chaotix about how Sonic Crackers was its prototype game. Apparently, Crackers was a Japanese mistranslation. Clackers was what actually was. Clackers was a popular kids' toy in Japan. I guess that toy was what connected the two characters together. Also, Sonic Crackers, or Clackers, had an isometric hub world. So it's kind of like Sonic Labyrinth in that respect. When I reached the 2D loop, it got kind of confusing, the level design, because the last time that I replayed it, I found it hard to, like, it was expecting me to go left to progress. I found that kind of confusing, like I tried to go right and just hit an invisible wall. I didn't have that problem at all though when I played it for the first time, as you can see. In SA2's Japanese script, the Eclipse Cannon is called a weapon that pierces stars rather than a weapon of mass destruction. It's only at the end of Shadow's explanation that Shadow says they'll be able to destroy the world. However, Rouge still looks suspicious with her line. But I wonder how that will go. It's much better than her sounding like a hero about to stop them. So yeah, that was a pretty fast and fun level. But as you can see, it's harder than you think. Even in the 2D sections. And again, there needs to be walls or something on the side. And after this, we're moving on to showing off some Unleashed DLC, which was actually converted into Generations. Now, I thought that this would actually be fun in the sense that it's a fair challenge, like the Cannons mission in Generations. Unfortunately, I just couldn't really figure out what to do with it. I forgot to talk about the time break skill last time. It's just as useless as it was in Sonic and the Secret Rings. Like, it slows everything down. Well, like, it did help me jump over trip up things, but still. I don't see what the point of adding this 3D hub world is. It just makes it take longer to get to a stage. It was a lot of effort though. But yeah. Now this looks pretty nice at first. Like, the narrow planks aren't really a problem because you can just homing attack to the balloons. Now it's kind of hard to figure out where I'm supposed to go. You don't usually go left in modern Sonic games. And then you use a horizontal pole, but the problem is that the game can very easily decide to homing attack the wrong thing. And not to mention that it's harder to time swinging off the horizontal poles than you think, because you swing so slowly that it throws you off. I rage quit a lot of these. Like, this one is very poorly designed. And again, I'm more blaming the original Unleashed DLC than the modder who made this into Generations, because they just accurately replicated it. Like, they expect you to homie attack onto this thing, this enemy, when there's a wall directly above you that you're going to hit the ceiling of. Like you're going to hit the bottom of it on the way to that purple enemy. So, it's an extremely precise homie attack. This looks really weird. I don't know what the point of this was. I guess this is a glitch? Not sure how a glitch results from this. This is basically the mod for Sonic Jump, where it basically turns Green Hill Zone into Sonic Jump, a mobile game. Although it doesn't operate anything like it, like physics-wise. Oh yeah, I think I also have a mod for like giving Sonic the pretty blue trail. But yeah, it doesn't really control anything like Sonic Jump. Like, you're not forced to constantly move forwards. You can actually control yourself. There's platforms with holes in them, and platforms that will fall down after a while. But eventually I got to a point where I couldn't actually progress. And like, I'm standing on holes here. Why aren't I falling? And I fall here, even though, like, you fall through the floor. Eventually it gets to the point where it's completely unintuitive how you're supposed to progress. Like, you fall right through the floor here. There doesn't seem to be any places where you can stand. Did the original Sonic Jump do this? Making it completely confusing? Like, this is straight out of, like, that ROM hack's Unfair Sonic, where you would basically... There were spikes that came out of floors that you had no way of knowing that they were coming up, and you had no rings the whole time. And there were also intangible floors you'd fall through. It was pure trial and error. And here I'm going to be showing off all the Unwiished levels with Generations. And I always defended the Unwiished levels, but I guess it's something to do with Generations' boost system. Like, the boost is a lot more overpowered. It's continuous rather than, like, timed button presses where you just boost and then boost and then boost. So the levels feel a lot more bland when you put them in Generations, when I was fine with them in Unwiished. But again, like, I went back to replay the Unwiished levels while I was doing the Unleashed commentary, and I liked them. The thing about Unleashed levels is that they're a lot more focused on drifting, so they should be a lot more exciting than Generations levels. Because Generations levels doesn't really use the drift all that often. For some reason, Sonic Forces removed the drift entirely. And what annoys me the most is that apparently, as the full demo revealed, you can't pick up your rings after you get hit. Like, only certain species of the custom hero can do that, which is bullshit. Which kind of makes me feel like the game isn't for me anymore, you know? It just seems so arbitrary. Like, I was able to handle it in Sonic 1 for the Game Gear, where your rings disappeared forever after you got hit. Because, well, you're constantly surrounded by rings in that game. And, well, the bosses always made you fight them without rings, but I guess I was just able to deal with them more. But in a modern Sonic game, that kind of mechanic seems really out of place. And it just feels like an arbitrary way to force difficulty on you. I don't know, maybe I'll get used to it. But it's the kind of problem that is fine in the levels, but atrocious in the boss fights. Imagine if you couldn't pick up your rings after they scattered in a rush boss fight. Though the bosses don't look like they'll be like that, but it'll be a good game though. At least in the sense that colors was. Again, you can't expect it to be fantastic right away. That's the big thing. Like, I just feel like it symbolizes hope for the future that games after it will get a lot better. There's a common rumor about SA2 that even I believed at first. The game's writer never spoke anything but Japanese. So the script didn't start in English and then get translated to Japanese and then back to English. I can understand why people would think that though, because the game was made in the US. So basically it's not nearly as badly mistranslated as people think it is. However, the Japanese script is more bland and has a lot less charm in it. Maria's speech to Shadow that gets cut off is in the Japanese version, "Please Shadow, someday is my replacement for all the people living on that planet." So she wants him to be her replacement. With Shadow's second flashback in SA2, Maria said to him in the Japanese version, "Shadow, you like that planet, don't you?" I like that line better because it's more obvious that it's supposed to be a rhetorical question. So it makes more sense that Shadow starts talking about how Joe wanted to help the planet. In the Japanese version, when Eggman beats Tails' neck, he says, "You're 100 years too soon to win against me." I like that line. When Shadow said, "Our threats fell on deaf ears" in SA2, the Japanese script said, "Negotiations with the government have failed." That's what he said, which makes more sense. But it's also boring how Rouge says, instead of saying "don't forget about my jewels," she says it's a gem contingency fee. What's that even supposed to mean? I mean, is it contingency mean backup plan? Like, that's another example of how the localization of the script adds a lot more charm to it. Sadly, the Unwiished project never got finished. Like, you can see here that they didn't actually bother to finish Savannah Citadel. They just put in the boss arena instead. Don't really see the point. Like, they still had to work hard on this, but that effort would have been better spent at least trying to recreate the level. And Cool Edge, like, they got a title, but that was it. And after playing them in Generations, Physics, and Boost, I can understand, because the Unleashed project is just so much better. Like, I don't know what it is about the Unleashed levels that make them so much more fun in their original game. I guess it's just the different way that the boost is handled. It feels a lot more exciting boosting that game. See? All they got is a title. Water Palace is another really great mod. I like how, well, apparently, like, as you can see here, it's got the Unleashed FX pipeline shaders. So it's got, like, advanced shadows and stuff. I don't really care about that, though. It's a nice touch that they actually put in the Rush hub music theme with the 3D hub world. Like, they could have very easily just did what all the other level mods did. Or even not even that, and just had you just go into Green Hill Zone. Kind of unintuitive that you have to press up on a floor tile in order to enter the level, though. I don't know. They've even got in the Water Palace music that repeats the same phrase over and over and over again. It's a nice touch, I guess. This is a fantastic level. It's got great thrills. Like just everything about it, I like. It rewards fast reaction times, like quick stepping to avoid the things over the water. This is kind of intuitive though. How are you supposed to know how to deal with this? I fell and died twice when I first came to that because I didn't know that I was supposed to stomp, and that was how I fell into that red ring. I died 3 times in a row and gave up. It wasn't until I saw someone else play that I found out that, oh, you have to stomp, and that's how you fall into it. Because I guess it was the camera angle. I found it kind of hard to tell where exactly I was in 3D space, depth perception wise. And the diagonal springs here kind of send you like suddenly. So it's a good thing I was able to react in time both times I played this level all the way through. Yeah, like this is a great level, but it's a shame that I almost didn't get to play all of it because of that one unintuitive part. I never really had to stomp into an orange
dash ring before. Like, I think I tried to fall into it normally, so I don't know why you have to stop. This is also another level with alternate routes. Huh. Sonic very clearly didn't fall into the spike there, but he still died. Like, he just fell to the side of it. I like how you can homing attack onto water spouters, and that launches you. Like, it's pretty convenient. You don't have to fall into them.
In the Japanese script, when you beat King Boom Boo, Knuckles literally said, "Whew, that was awful." So even the game script writers knew that that boss was terrible.
But yeah, that was a pretty fun level. The very wide open 3D drifting areas are kind of awkward in that you can fall off the edge and fall off the side of it. So you have to make sure you're drifting right and stuff. But I really liked the homing attack chain with the faraway camera. Like, it was pretty cool.